Shocking climate change goals in a global networks of cities. What am I talking about? Hello, this is ChartGPT today. Yes, climate change. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate. There's some climate change folks that have different views on climate change, whether it's real or not real. I'm going to step aside from that question and just look at what these global network of cities are doing. And it is real. It's called C40. Look at the description box. You can find a link to they got an actual website, nice little website with nice pictures on there. And they've come up with goals, climate change goals. So here they are. Here's the 96 cities around the world. They're in the United States, South America, Africa, Europe, and in China, India, even in Australia. They make up 20% of the global economy. So these groups of mayors got together. They're having their big climate change push. And here's what they're proposing for us to do. So let's take a look at what they got for us. First goal up here is now they have two targets, a progressive target and an ambitious target. So what they're suggesting is reduce ownership of vehicles. So that means like 1 in 5 is supposed to have a vehicle for I guess that's the moderate target. But they really, and this is by 2030, they want 0 private vehicles, right? So, and they want your car to, I guess, last maybe 50 years. Good luck with that. So they don't want you to be manufacturing so many cars. So you can take a look at those. So anyway, the goal here is you're not going to have a car. So I guess you'll have to take the bus. Here's one that I thought was kind of comical here. But they want to reduce the supply chain waste. Okay. But here it is. Even for the moderate goal, the progressive target would be only 8 new clothing items per year per person. 8. So, I wonder if socks equals 1 or 2. Maybe that's being too technical there, but for the ambitious target, you're only allowed to buy 3 new clothing items per year per person. Well, I guess we'll reduce costs in terms of clothing. You only get 3. You just better buy good ones, because if they wear out, I don't know if you can replace them or not. You'll only be able to buy 3. Of course, this gets into aviation here. They want to make biofuels, I guess. I mean, again, the aggressive target is 100%. But you're only going to be allowed 1 short-haul flight. Now, this is the moderate target. 1 short-haul return flight every 2 years. So every other year you can take a flight. 1 flight, not more. So you're going to meet grandma or something, forget it. Take the bus, because you can't have a car. And for the more ambitious, it's 1 every 3 years. So that's what these mayors have dreamt up for us. So that's kind of interesting. And then the food consumption, we've seen these kind of things before. I guess we could still eat the same amount, but we're going to have to cut way back on the dairy, because those cows that are passing methane gas or whatever they pass, so they want to get that to 0. And of course the meat from 16 kilograms, and for the ambitious target is 0. So I thought that was an interesting thing, that this is what these mayors want to do for us. And there's some money behind it. Obviously Bloomberg is one of the big funders. A couple of these others groups of people. There's IKEA here, these people more. There's a Soros Foundation, Open Society. Look at those. But there's a lot of money behind it. L'Oreal. You can see these. So this is not. They actually spend money dreaming this stuff up. And I thought it was interesting that you should be aware of what your mayors in your cities around the world are linking up to do. Now, there's been articles here, recent, out of the New York Times, where Bill Gates says brute force climate policy changes won't work. And I think they're beginning to realize that some people get on this climate change train and they start dreaming up the craziest stuff and hoping, thinking that people are just going to blindly adopt it. So this is kind of an example of it. I suspect some of these targets by 2030 are probably not going to happen, and I think they kind of realize that they've kind of overreached here. Give us your opinion there in the comment section of the video. It'd be kind of interesting what your take is. And we wrote up an AI and asked the AI, again, not trying to answer the question of climate change, what are the realistic notions of these kind of dramatic goals? What does it really do, and some of the effects that may have? I think kind of a thing from Statista, where look at all these countries that are not really abiding by these very low, as all red, all these countries in red, they're not acting in good ways to protect the climate. Of course, Africa is kind of non-reporting. Interesting point there. So give us your take in the polling. Do some of these goals that make any sense, or is it complete poppycock? Now don't forget to subscribe.